What's up, guys? So today we're gonna be doing a review of this guy, the Cold Blade Clone Nautilus. It's a live blade. It is $60, I think, around there. I bought it off of bbksbalisongs, and yeah, I'm just gonna try and do a really quick review so that y'all can get my thoughts on it. I literally just opened it. The box is right there. I also bought something from Ballet Plus, but yeah. So, without further ado, let's see. The Cold Blade Live Nautilus is, I think, just the same material construct as the actual version. So it's aluminum. It's probably a lower grade aluminum. Aluminum on G10 scales. I'm not sure what the blade steel is. Maybe like D2. Yeah, that sounds right. I'm assuming Squid uses SVN35, or S35V, I don't know. Whatever that one's called. The sound when you're flipping it is kind of nice. It's quiet. Out of the box, it had no bounce, and that's because it's on these tang pins. And I think, like, the closing is, it's all right. It's, like, not much bounce there, but it's, like, slowly getting better. For the Ice Pig bounce, like, out of the box, it literally had nothing. Like, it would just come to a dead stop. I honestly thought there was something wrong with it, and, like, maybe I didn't, like, I had to insert the tang. I don't even know. But that's not the case. I think it's just the G10. Like, the tang pin might be hitting the G10 first before the actual metal. And you can kind of hear it. So at first, you hear the G10. No, you can't really hear it, but it hits the G10 first, and then at the very end, there's a small ring. So I imagine that the bounce will get better as the G10 softens up and gets worn down so that the tang pin is hitting on the metal instead. But I think the balance is actually quite comfortable. It's not neutral. It's definitely handle biased, but it's a very moderate amount of handle bias, in my opinion. So it's definitely workable. It's very light. I don't know how light, but if I had to guess, maybe like 3.5 ounces, somewhere around there, maybe 3.6. But it actually flips well for that kind of weight. A lot of people say that with lighter balisongs, it just means that you're, like, going faster, you know? But I find that it's actually, this is one of the light balisongs, the only light balisong that I know of, where flipping it slow actually feels really good. I don't know why that is, but yeah, it just actually feels quite normal to flip slow. I really like the design, actually, so Squid did a great job with this design. One thing, I don't know if you could pick it up here, the safe handle seems to be, like, not aligned with the blade, meaning that this blade is kind of, like, a more exaggerated version of this would be this. And so as you bring this closer and closer, like, like, you see this look right here, it's like the same thing there. I don't know if you can, it's more visible to the actual eye, but, so I don't know how much that comes up on camera. But yeah, I just unboxed this thing. So there's literally no bounce, like I said, in the Ice Pick sound test, but I imagine that as you break it in more, it'll start getting more and more bouncy. And I think the tune is all right. It's not, like, the best thing in the world, but it's not bad. So, I mean, I lubed it up as well. So that's with lube. I think it's honestly just the safe handle seems to be, or maybe it's the bite handle. Yeah, actually, I think they're both kind of bad, but yeah, overall for 60 bucks, I'd say this is just a much better purchase than the actual knife from Squid Industries because, I mean, let's be honest, you're paying for this is like 60 bucks, and like the live Nautilus from Squid is like an absurdly almost like four times the amount of that. And like honestly, you're not really paying for materials because it's just aluminum and G10. So it's not like you're that price is because it's titanium or anything. So it's kind of just expensive for no reason. Like you're really just paying all that money for it to be USA made and be an authentic Squid Industries product. So I don't really know why it's so expensive. It seems kind of like stupid. But I mean, for people who are against clones, I would say, yeah, maybe if you really love the design or you really like, you know, G10 balisongs, and for some reason you also like G10 and aluminum, then yeah, sure, I guess if all those things check out, then go for the Squid Industries version. But I mean, like I can't imagine you get much better of an experience with the real thing than with just buying a clone. I mean, the only thing I can think of that would actually be better is just the tolerances and, of course, the bounce on this ice pick. I mean, this is pretty dead, I'm not going to lie. Compared to, like, something like the Refault, which I also have, that thing is bouncy, bro. And, yeah, if that's, like, a 10 out of 10 bounciness, this is, like, I don't know, maybe, like, a 3 or a 4. But, yeah, I think over time, though, as this kind of breaks in, the tang pin will start making more and more contact with the aluminum, and then it'll definitely become more bouncy. Because right now, I really feel like it's just hitting with the G10, which is definitely more of a softer impact, and then that vibration isn't really getting there because the vibration for the sound test comes from metal on metal, or at least that's the most optimal vibration. So yeah, all in all, I give this a very worthwhile purchase in my opinion. It's very light. It's a unique kind of build quality. It should be cheap. It should honestly not, if like Squid Industries were to sell this, it should honestly not be more than like $100. And I mean, you think about that in like comparison to like other brands, like the Orion. I mean, that thing is like a really awesome flipper, and that's only like $100, give or take. And that's fully aluminum, you know? So it's like, why is Squid almost charging like a little bit over double that for a product that's really kind of the same bracket of materials, right? Like it's not titanium or anything. There's nothing like seriously new or innovative with the knife as a whole. It's kind of just like an average G10 aluminum balisong. So I think if I were to price this for Squid Industries, I would say like no more than like $100. Basically just match the Orion, because it feels like, I mean, I have an Orion right here that I can open up and compare to, right? And I get that this is a real this is an authentic knife compared to a clone. So obviously the quality control is not going to be as good. I get that. But I'm saying, let's say you get rid of the quality control problems that a clone has. I mean, this thing flips really good. It has really great tolerances. Barely moves. And the bounces, it's really good. you know? So this is like a gold standard for like sub 100 or like around $100 for a balisong. So, I mean, if I can't imagine that this knife is really anywhere outside of that bracket of being able to compete like adequately. Like there's no way, right? Like if a Kraken is, let's say, $300, right? I mean, literally just pay the extra money for a Kraken. Like it's really not that much more, and that's sad to say because the Kraken compared to this is just so much better. I think all in all though, if Squid were to change this to like $100, like I said, I would say definitely just support the authentic maker, you know. Don't go for the clone. But because this clone is just like economically more affordable, and it's kind of based off of a really interesting design of G10 on aluminum, it just doesn't really make sense to go buy the real version. If you really care about tolerances, you can just tune it yourself, which I might do actually. Like these are kind of bad. Although I would say that the tolerance aren't bad enough for it to affect the flipping. I think sometimes with clones and just knives that have really bad tunes, you can really tell when you're flipping it. But I would say like with this one, you can't really tell. Like overall, it doesn't feel shaky between tricks. It feels pretty solid and sturdy, which usually means it's like a good tune, right? But considering this one kind of has a bad tune, I don't know why that would you know, that sturdiness is still holding up. So it's just interesting idea going on there. But yeah, overall, I think for the price, it's definitely a good balisong, right? If you want something that's light, something that's G10, something that's cheap, I'd say go for it, you know? It's a cool design. There's so many color options. I think they only offer a live blade. So if you don't want a live blade, that you're kind of out of luck, which makes sense, right? It's copying the live blade Nautilus. So I doubt that they would have a trainer blade available, or that cold blade would offer a trainer blade, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And yeah, definitely check it out. It's a unique flip. It's comfortable, which is definitely nice, right? A lot of knives basically, especially on the heavier side, right, they can kind of feel draining to flip nonstop. So it's nice to have a light flipper in your catalog, let's say. And it's also nice that it's G10, right? G10 just kind of feels softer in the hands. So it's really like just the knife that you want to pick up if you're kind of being brainless. You don't want to have to like really lock in on using your hand strength that much. You kind of just want to take an easy time flipping. Then this one's definitely a good option. I think Cold Blade did really good with this one, and I would recommend it. Overall, for $60, I think I give it a, let's go 8.5 out of 10. Like I said, balance is a little bit handle biased. The tolerances are kind of bad, but I mean, as long as you have sandpaper, you like 600 or 1,000 sandpaper, you can tune it yourself pretty easily. And I think everybody should know how to tune their balisongs. So I think that's just a good thing to learn. It came with spare hardware. Yeah, it's just a simple design. If you want to reduce the handle bias, maybe you could. No, since it's a sandwich kind of design, you definitely can't take these screws out. But yeah, I don't think you'd have to worry about the balance being too handle biased or anything. It's a pretty comfortable amount. It's definitely not neutral, but which is my preferred balance, but it's still a comfortable flipper. It fans pretty nice. It kind of wobbles It does, yeah, it definitely has that handle bias wobble that you can see right there. See if I fan it on my palm, you can kind of see it wobbles there, which is not the most comfortable for a fan, but it definitely doesn't mean that it's bad at fanning, right? Like it still fans perfectly fine. It just doesn't feel as willing to go into that fan as other knives might that are less handle biased. But yeah, all in all, W cold blade with the live blade Nautilus, for $60, definitely worth it. So yeah, check it out. Thanks for watching.